Okay, welcome everyone. Parshas Vayeira. All right, so we got a lot of fascinating things to discuss. So the parsha starts out with Abraham's bris milah, circumcision, and then afterwards we see that Hashem tells Abraham, "I'm a chassid mi Abraham. Can I hide from Abraham what I'm about to do? I'm about to destroy Sodom." And so I got to tell Avram is beloved to me. It's like I gave him the land. I got to tell him. So Hashem tells Abraham, okay, Sodom is very, very evil. I've heard all the things, I know all the things they've done and what they're about, and I'm going to destroy Sodom. Okay. What does Avram do? Avram starts to daven and pray for them. No, save Sodom. Pray for Sodom, save him. This is bizarre. I mean, I don't know how to say the words. Sodom are really, really bad people. They're terrible, terrible people. So what's the law here? You don't pray to save Nazis. What's going on? Why is Avram praying for Sodom? We all say, oh, it's so nice. No, he loved everyone. But it doesn't make sense. Avram's not going to pray for evil to continue. So why is he praying for Sodom? Question one. And then the whole way he davens is very strange. There's 50 people, there's 45 people, 40 people, 30 people. It sounds like a shuk. They're arguing in the Mideast what price you should have for this object. They're bargaining. 50, 45, 40. All right, Rashi says because we're 5 cities and 10 people in each city. So if there's 10 people in each city, save the city. So if there's 50 people, you save all 5 separate cities of Sodom. But I mean, why does everyone pray that way? Why don't you just say, save everybody? If he had a reason why he wanted to save them, just say, save them. Why, if there's 50, then save them. Then he goes down his numbers, and then he gets 45, 40, 10 for each city until he realizes, no, according to Rashi, there's not 10 righteous people in any one of the particular cities, and Avram stops praying. Okay, so why is he praying in this strange way? Now, the third question I want to ask is, there's a rule that whenever something appears the first time in the Torah, it's a very significant thing. It's teaching me something why this is the first thing that appears. This is very bizarre, because this is the first davening, the first prayer for someone else. Right? Okay, there was other prayers. People may prayed for themselves, certain things, maybe, possibly, but this one, this is the first time that someone is praying for someone else, and it's apparently unsuccessful. Why Hashem is telling Avraham, the Torah tells us that this great prayer of Avraham, and the answer is no. Sorry. It's strange. I mean, tell me the first time of davening for the people, which what Torah wants to encourage, should be the time it's successful. Here, it's not. And really, the truth is, the whole thing is weird, because why did Hashem tell Avraham in the first place? Why did he hint to him to pray for Sodom? He said, am I going to hide this from Avram? I have to tell him. And Avram tells him. Avram realizes, okay, so it's up to me to pray. We had the same story by Moshe. By Moshe, after the sin of the golden calf, Hashem said, Nicha, leave me alone and I will destroy them. And Moshe says, oh, wait a minute. Hashem is saying, leave me alone so I'll destroy them, which is implying it's up to me. I have to pray for the Jewish people. And he does. And it's the height, the pinnacle of Moshe's career. It's called when Moshe comes to his ultimate greatness, when he says, save the Jewish people or erase me from the book. If they go, I go. And his prayer for the Jewish people is the pinnacle of what he was. So Hashem hinted to Moshe. Moshe realized that Hashem wants him to pray for the Jewish people, so he does it. But what happened over here? Hashem hints to Avram to pray for Sodom, or he lets him know that's up to him. But the answer is no. So why does Hashem want him to pray in the first place? And he's telling him this. Okay, that's another thing I want to answer. And the final thing I want to discuss is The difference in Avram and Noah. People always say, Noah, and it bothers me when they say this, that, oh, Noah didn't care about his generation. No, he didn't pray for them. It's really silly. We'll see, because Noah was so righteous. If you saw Noah, you'd faint from his level of righteousness and greatness. So why didn't Noah pray? Why did Abraham pray? I mean, Abraham's prayer didn't seem to work. So would Noah's prayer work? Should he have done it? If it's not going to work, so should you do it anyway? What is that is going on here? What's the point of all this? Okay. So those are the questions around how he's praying, why he's praying for these people, why he's praying in this way. Does God want it? Does he not want it? Why is the answer no? And what is the quality of Abraham's prayer that Noah didn't do? Okay. Let's understand something very fascinating. With us when we were a kid, we hear people saying, that's really selfish. Don't do that. Don't be selfish. Now, if you think about it, it's a little strange. Like, you tell a little kid, go share your toy. I don't want to share my toy. I want my toy. Okay, the kid, you're training him and they realize it's good to share and they do it. But if you think about it deeply, it's a little strange. Why would a person give up of their thing for another? Why exactly would we do that? Let's think about this a second. The most fundamental trait of a human being is self-preservation. So if you could save your life or save someone else's life, what should you do? What should you do? So obviously you save yourself, and it's the natural, normal feeling. So what are we telling a child? What are we telling ourselves when we say, don't be selfish? It's a little bit absurd, because Adam Karv Eitzel Atzmo, a person is connected to themselves. The sense of my most important thing is to continue my existence is normal. It's the way the world is supposed to be. Okay, so now, and this is a very deep idea. I'm just going to tell you one thing that the Kabbalists say to understand this. The Leshem says that the sense of I, the sense of self, is my deepest connection in a certain way, because it's my connection. Just like God is one, I understand there's a me, and I don't. It's a little hard to understand when I'm supposed to say to someone, give up of yourself. It's not normal. Okay, so I don't need it so much. I have extra. I thank God I have more. I want other people to have. Very nice, very nice. But when it comes to something that is mine, why would I necessarily give it to somebody else? And that's why, by the way, the halacha of love your neighbor like yourself, in practical terms, it doesn't mean that, okay, you got a car, you got a nice car, your friend has no car. So if you love your neighbor like yourself, the law should be, you sell your car and you both get a junky car. Guy knocks on your door, he says, hey, you got $100,000 in the bank. I don't got anything. Give me half of it. If you love him like yourself, you'll do it. But that's not the law. The law is, the way the Ramban Nachmanides explains it, is that you should wish good for other people like you do for yourself. Because it's a lowly trait when you say, I want you to have, but I want to have a little more. I want you to be smart, but I want to be a little smarter. That's a lowly base trait that people do have. And therefore you should be loving and wishing good for others like you want for yourself. But you don't have to share your things 50-50. You don't have to do that. But there is a deeper understanding of this, of Avrech Kamocha, a deeper understanding of it. And I want to give it to you the analogy of a parent. A parent or a spouse, when I love the other one, I'm willing to give them myself. A person, will very often, they'll even sacrifice their own life for their loved one. Well, what's that about? If the sense of maintaining myself is the most crucial part, so why would a person, give their life to save their kid's life? Understand this. So the word in Hebrew for womb, we talked about this in Parshas Noach, for womb is rechem. Rechem is the same word as rachem, to have compassion. Okay? Why is the word for womb and the word rachem, why are they the same? What is the parent's relationship to the child that they have this quality of compassion of rachamim? So, as in all Hebrew words, if you flip around the letters, all the secrets are in the Hebrew letters. The word rachem, if you flip the letters around, it spells the word cherem. Cherem is totally destruction. It's the opposite of rachem. When I have compassion on someone, I want them to succeed, I want them to continue. Cherem is where there's nothing left. It's complete destruction. Acharim, to destroy something. There's another permutation of the word rechem, or womb, or compassion, and that's the word machar. Flip the letters around, because the word machar. What does that mean? It means tomorrow. Because the parents' love to the child is they see in the child something that is so good. They see themselves in the child, and therefore a person loves themselves. They love the child because they see themselves in the child. And they see the child's tomorrow. They say, they go to the parent-teacher meeting, and the teacher says, your kid's terrible, he's a bum. They don't do today, it's not politically correct. But these who do it, say your kid is no good. The parent says, what are you talking about? Now, it could be the parents deluding themselves, but very often the parent sees the machar, the tomorrow of the child. You don't see what's inside this child. I do. And therefore, there's a certain love the parent has for the child because they see, just like I love myself, I love my child. I'm in my child. And I see the good that you're not seeing. I see the tomorrow of this child. The rachamim, the compassion is not just, oh, you know what, whatever, let's have compassion. You can't have compassion on, it's amazing as the original question, it's forbidden to have compassion on cruel people. It says whoever is cruel to whoever is a rachaman to achzor, whoever is compassion on cruel people, he says, oh, let the terrorists be, you have to love them. In the end, that same person is cruel to compassionate people. So what is this idea of having compassion? It's because I understand the child themselves, I see the good in them. I see the tomorrow in them. That's what I see. Okay, now, therefore, what happens here with Avraham and what's the difference between Noach? What happened with Noach? As I said, it drives me crazy when people say, Noach didn't care about his generation. He was so selfish. Blah, blah, blah. It's foolish. It's foolish. The Zohar explains why Noach didn't pray for his generation. And when you understand this, you'll understand what Avram was about and what we have to do. It's like this. Noach, it says in the Zohar, that after the flood, he looked at the world that was desolate and he said, Hashem, you're the compassionate one, and this is how your compassion is. You wiped out the whole world. And Hashem says, foolish shepherd. Raya Shatya, you foolish shepherd. Now you pray? When I told you before I was going to destroy them, you didn't pray. You said you're going to save yourself. And now you pray? But I don't understand why call him stupid. Call him cruel. Call him selfish. Why call him stupid? Why a stupid shepherd? Why? And the answer is like this. Noach had a real good reason why he didn't pray. Because it says, Hashem said to him, you are a tzaddik lefanai b'dor hazeh, you are righteous to me in this generation, meaning you're not so great. I really wouldn't save you anyway. I had to save somebody. You're the best I got. I'm saving you. So, okay. So what do you do now? You say, oh, you know what? I barely snuck in. So let's save the next guy too. The Talmud says the lowest guy is the guest who invites a guest. I say, listen, I have no room at my table. I have one spot. You can come. And then you invite 10 people. What are you talking about? I told you you barely can get in. Hashem said to Noach, you barely get in. Noach's going to say, I have a right to go and pray for more people? How could I do that? How could I ask for them? I barely snuck in. But if you were in the Holocaust and you try to get a visa, and you said to somebody, you were blinding somebody, they say, here's a visa. So you say, okay, I snuck in, I can't get everyone else out. But if it's your own kids, it's your spouse, you're going to say, I need it. I need it. You can't save me without them. I am them. Noach was called a foolish shepherd because he didn't understand he had the role of being the shepherd. He was a nobody, not a nobody, but he wasn't as great as Avram, and he barely made it in. But he was still the one that was in charge of the people. They were his people. They were his responsibility. And therefore, Hashem wanted him to pray, even though normally you don't pray when you don't have a right to ask. But it's my own kids. It's my own generation. These are my people. I have to ask. And this is a very, very crucial thing. It's called in Torah achrayut. Achrayut doesn't mean that I'm just, you're a nice guy and I'll help you out. It means I have responsibility for you. There's a famous principle. All the Jews are guarantors one for another. A guarantor means I'm in your place. You can't pay the bill. I got to pay the bill. I'm somehow connected to you. You are connected to me. And that is the deeper way that you start to love other people. Is not when I say, hey, don't be selfish, go and give to them. It's when you expand yourself and the people in your orbit to feel the responsibility that they are you, they're an extension of you. It starts with your spouse, goes to your kids, maybe you can start going to your community. Maybe you can go to the whole Jewish people, maybe go to the whole world. Where you start to feel I have responsibility for these people, that they are, I'm expanding myself. That's the key to understand the difference here. Loving your neighbor like yourself, it doesn't mean like, you want this, don't be selfish, give them. What do you mean? I protect myself. The answer is make ourselves bigger, expand ourselves, see the other person is connected to me in some way. You got to start with your local people, of course. You can't go and start with the whole world. You start with your spouse, you start with your kids, you start with your community, you start in that way. What did Avraham do? Avraham realized he was the person in charge. He was the shepherd. God changed his name. Avraham, Av Hamon Goyim. You're the father of many nations. It's weird. It should be the father of the Jewish nation. Why is he the father of many nations? Because Avraham was the one. And therefore he saw the whole world as part of his responsibility. So he prays for stone. Because responsibility. But look at the way that Avraham prayed. He was davening for them. It's amazing. He didn't say, you know what? I know they're terrible, but save them anyway. If they're Nazis, what are you praying to save the Nazis for? What did Avraham daven? He said, if there are 10 righteous people in the city, they should save the whole city. What was he saying? Avraham was saying, like a parent, look, there is good inside of stone. Let the good inside of this child be brought out. That's what he's saying. He's not saying, I want to just, guy's a bum, keep him around, whatever. That's not compassion. That's not rachamim. That's having compassion on cruel people. That's not what it's about. The compassion is to see in somebody there's good and say, you know what, all the other stuff they're doing is not really what they're about. And I could see it in them, and I want to bring out what's really good because there's good inside of them. I see their machar, I see their tomorrow. That was Avram's davening. That's why he davened for stone. He wasn't davening to keep, that's why his whole prayer is different. He didn't say, just save them. And he didn't say just save the righteous people, because the righteous people, Hashem's taking care of. He's not going to destroy righteous people. Whoever he's going to say will save them. Avram is saying, let all of stone be saved for the righteous people that are the spark of the entire nation. There's something good here if there's righteous people. That's what he was praying for. And that's why he said 50 and why he kept going this whole bargaining thing, because he was looking for the spark of what was good. And he wanted to bring that out. Hashem said to him, no, there isn't. There isn't. And that's why Avram's prayer didn't seemingly work, because there wasn't even that spark of good seeming. But then we come back to our other question. So that's true. Why does Hashem want Avram to daven? And why was the first place of praying for other people in the world unsuccessful? And the deep, deep answer is it was successful. Hashem wanted Avram to daven, and he did daven for the good, and it actually worked. How did it work? Where did it work? I'll tell you two places where it worked. It says that there's a verse that says, Matzasi David Avdi, I found David my servant. There's another verse that it connects with and says, where did I find my servant David? I found him in stone. Because remember, Lot's going to be saved, and buried deep inside of Lot, there is that good spark. Abraham's prayer worked that the good that was inside of stone got saved. We couldn't see it. The whole people couldn't be saved because this good was buried so deep, a normal human being couldn't see it. Avram prayed for Hashem, says you can't. It's not called in the world enough that you could see it. But your prayer is going to be answered through Lot's being saved from Avram's prayer in the form of eventually Ruth and then David, a whole line of Mashiach buried deep inside. And another amazing thing. Now, Rizal says that he says, fascinating thing. I'm going to say in the Kabbalistic way, but let's try to use it because we don't understand what these things mean. Gilgul, people call it reincarnation. That's not what it is. But the whatever this means, that the souls come back, whatever aspect it means. The Arizal says that the generation of Sdom came back in the generation that got the Torah, the Dora Midbar. The souls of those people that were bad had something good in it. I couldn't see it. Avram prayed for it. It was not visible, but his tefillah worked. His tefillah was wanted and it was successful. And what happened was that these people, they died, they had to come around, their souls, and the neshamas came back in a purified state, which is exactly what Avram wanted. Get rid of all the bad of stone and take out the spark of what's good, even though you can't see it. People in stone are so bad. But there was that good that came out through Abraham's prayer, that those exact people became his responsibility and his extension. It's amazing. That's what it means. Av Haman Goyim. He is the father of many nations. Everything that's good in the world comes out through Abraham. I was thinking, it's an amazing thing. It says when Mashiach comes, it says everyone becomes Gerim Grurim. There are people that convert when they have a free will choice to do it before Mashiach comes. And then afterwards, everyone somehow, follows along. When Mashiach comes, everyone wants to join the bandwagon and they jump in and they become like, Gerim Guru means like dragged along. They just go along because they see this is true. But maybe we could say that's what it means, the Av Haman Goyim, the father of many nations, because all the good sparks of them are going to be traced back to the original father, which is Avraham. Avraham is the father of all these nations. He sees these are my children. He sees there's something good in them. He looks for it. Amazing. And that's why it's such a fascinating thing. This is so deep. And when you read the Parsha in English, there's a problem because you don't get the deeper meanings. But it says, "V'nivrachu v'cha," and all the nations of the world will be blessed through you. Nivrachu. And it says that in a few places that Abraham, the nations will be blessed through you. All right, what is that? Okay, Rashi explains the simple meaning. That means blessed through you. But the deeper meaning. The word levarech, which means to bless, also is the word lahavrich. Lahavrich means that when you have let's say a tree, and you somehow take a branch, I don't know exactly how you do it, you stick it back into the ground, and it sprouts out from the original tree. That's called lavrich, arich. So the Svarim Kadoshim understand, the holy books say, don't understand this that they will be blessed from you, they will be grafted out from you. All the nations of the world, all the good that is in there will come out through you to be grafted into Avraham. It will be put back into the earth and grown out through you. This prayer was successful. It was, and Hashem wanted it. But you couldn't always see the good in these people. Avram tried, he felt it. And it was so far off that it was not visible to the eye. But Hashem, he sifted it out till these souls were able to bring out the good. And that's why when you look at, let's say, Noach, so Noach didn't understand his responsibility to see these people as his achrayus, his responsibility. He didn't see it that way. And that's the reason he didn't pray for them. He wasn't a good person. He just said, okay. Avram said, I'm connected to these people. I'm the man. I'm the person I'm the one who has understanding, and they're my generation. I have to reach out. I have to feel that it's my responsibility to pray for them. And he looked, therefore, like a parent looks to a child to find the good inside it. The parent only sees that. Other people don't see it. That's Avram and Noach. As an aside, we mentioned Moshe. Hashem told him to pray. So the Svarim say that Moshe reached his pinnacle when he said, "Mecheinem sifrecha." I said, God, if you don't save the Jews, I'm their shepherd, wipe me out. So Moshe says, and that was his pinnacle, and that was the greatest act of compassion. The Svarim say that the words mecheni na, erase me from the book. If you flip the letters around, mecheni na, it spells the words ani me Noach. Moshe said, I am from Noach. And the Kabbalists say that Moshe's neshama was connected, how we would understand it, the same job, same soul, how we would understand it, of Noach. And that same aspect, which didn't pray, didn't realize its responsibility in Noach, was realized in Avraham. Avraham is the one who say, you're the leader of responsibility, see the good. And Noach was completed with Moshe, where Moshe now said, these are my people, and I'm going to pray for them no matter what. Now, Avraham didn't pray to that degree for Sodom to wipe them out, because Moshe already was the leader of the Jewish people when they're already refined, and the good in them was ready to sprout. The good in Sodom was way, way, way hidden. It was not something that a normal person could see. Avraham was looking at it, trying to identify it. This is something that we have to do, to whatever degree. To whatever degree, to understand that to love your neighbor, to be a person that is giving is not a matter of, the first level of sacrifice. Okay, I don't know why. I know it's good. I don't want to share my chocolate sundae with you, but okay, I know somehow it's good. I got to do it. You do it. All right. That only goes to a limited place because a person is close to themselves. But when a person starts to take responsibility and care about other people and do things for other people, and starting with their circle, starting with their spouse and with their children, people in their circle, in their community, when they start to do that, the person gets bigger. And you start feeling that this person is connected and is part of my responsibility, part of my own world. And you'll feel more to that person. And if Avraham could look at Sodom and see in them, well, there's some good here, and Hashem says, yeah, you're right, and your prayer is going to be answered. That good is so hidden now, it can't happen this time. But after a few times the souls come around, that good will show. Avram sees it in these people. What about us? Can't see it in your friend. I mean, most people today, people we know, I'm not talking about there are evil people in the world, but people we know, the guy's trying and seeing the good. That is the tefillah of Avraham. Don't save the evil people. Save them because of the 50 righteous people amongst them. Save them because there's good in them. See the quality that is hidden inside, and that's true compassion, to say, I want to bring out that quality, that it will continue, and the real person will shine, and not just and all the trappings will fall away. And that's what would happen with the generation of Stom. It's just to end with this one last piece. It's amazing. The Beis Yaakov says, the generation of Stom got a lot of pleasure. They were given so many good things and they misused it. But he says, the Gemara says certain things open a person's mind, and it could be for a good way. It's a beautiful house, beautiful life. Different things open a person's mind, but they could learn Torah and they have a settled mind. The people of Stom, they were open, they were expansive, so expansive they had no control. But Avraham brought in that quality of expansiveness into the Jewish people, that those souls eventually came with the quality of expansiveness, with the boundaries of the Torah, and they were able to become part of the generation of the desert that actually received the Torah. All the best.